As Hattori Hanzo's reputation grew, his status surpassed that of a mere shinobi commander and took on legendary status. His outstanding combat skills, his steadfast loyalty to Tokugawa Ieyasu, and his groundbreaking and unpredictable tactics started to be told by those who witnessed his exploits. Hanzo quickly emerged as more than a warrior in the collective mind. He was seen as a true master of the shadows, a man whose commanding presence intimidated enemies and inspired allies. His deeds not only established his reputation as one of feudal Japan's foremost strategists, but also gave birth to stories that, by blending reality and myth, raised his profile among the clans and troops who knew him. With time, rumors emerged about whether Hanzo had supernatural powers, rumors that were greatly nourished by his warrior's ability to move silently and vanish into the shadows, features that made him seem almost invisible to his opponents. Moreover, the way he approached battles, facing danger with calm and deadly precision, helped to create a mysterious aura of supernatural strength around him. Soldiers increasingly believed that Hanzo had mystical abilities to predict the actions of his enemies and shape the environment in his favor. This growing awe, combined with fear, led Hattori Hanzo to be nicknamed Oni Hanzo, or Demon Hanzo. In Japanese, the term Oni is not exactly referring to a demon in the Western sense, but to a powerful and terrifying entity, a force that commands respect and fear. The nickname grew popular among those who faced him or learned of his bravery and almost supernatural battlefield presence. Hanzo was a true demon to his enemies, uncatchable, merciless in his actions, and able to strike terror into the hearts with his mere presence. However, for the allies, the Hanzo demon was a powerful protective force, someone who was constantly at the forefront of battles and ready to sacrifice everything for Tokugawa. Tales spread that Hanzo could detect the presence of his enemies even before he saw them, and that, on dark nights, his figure could emerge from the shadows to strike down those who threatened Tokugawa. Although embellished by popular zeal, these narratives helped construct the myth of Hanzo, who enjoyed this reputation and used his secret agent network to spread these legends and increase his reputation and mystical aura. In 1600, the Battle of Sekigahara was one of the most crucial moments in Japanese history, an event that would shape the future of the country and pave the way for the establishment of the Tokugawa shogunate. Hattori Hanzo had a significant role to play in this victory, using his espionage, infiltration, and leadership skills to ensure the success of the Tokugawa forces against the enemies led by Ishida Mitsunari. He arranged a vast network of spies who discreetly monitored the movements of the enemy army and fed back vital information to Tokugawa. This network was essential for Ieyasu to grasp the intentions of Mitsunari and his allies, allowing him to develop a strategy that could anticipate his opponent's movements. During the days preceding Sekigahara, Hanzo headed a series of infiltration missions into the enemy lines. Along with a small group of elite ninjas, he sabotaged outposts, cut communication lines, and instilled a sense of uncertainty among Mitsunari's troops. These operations not only unsettled the enemy's morale, but also made coordination difficult between the different factions supporting Mitsunari, heightening tensions and weaknesses between the various warlords. This meager cohesion in the Western Army was a key factor that Tokugawa Ieyasu masterfully harnessed during the battle. The day of the battle, Hanzo was stationed with an elite unit, primed to respond to any emerging need. He turned his unit to outflank the foe at key movements, destabilizing their holdings and preventing Tokugawa's troops from gaining ground. Hanzo guided his men to attack high-value targets, attacking the most outstanding commanders and officers, which would quickly cause panic among the opposing troops. His tactics were fast and deadly. With the battle raging and the constant twists and turns on the battlefield, he also led Ieyasu's personal guard, shielding him from attacks and personal threats. In the knowledge that Ieyasu's life was paramount to the cause, Hanzo and his men remained vigilant, ready to sacrifice everything to ensure their lord's safety. The victory of Tokugawa at Sekigahara stamped the unification of Japan under his rule, and heralded the beginning of the Tokugawa shogunate, which would rule the country for over 250 years. For Hattori Hanzo, Sekigahara served as the crowning achievement of his career, and the completion of his purpose as Tokugawa's guardian and ally. After Tokugawa Ieyasu's rise to power as shogun, Japan was to enter a new era of relative peace and stability. This peace, however, was not only built on battlefield victories, but it also called for an internal control and surveillance structure that could secure the new regime and prevent conspiracies and uprisings. With his vast experience in espionage and stealth combat, Hattori Hanzo had a key role to play in this transition process, as he helped to implement an internal security and espionage system that would protect the Tokugawa shogunate for decades to come. Under his watch, he set up a pool of spies and informants drawn from among the Iga and Koka ninjas, who operated both in Edo, now Tokyo, the seat of the new government, and in other provinces. This became known as the Omitsu, or those who see everything, a unit that worked in the shadows to keep order and prevent conspiracies that could jeopardize the regime. Network members acted covertly, posing as merchants, craftsmen, and even traveling monks, sneaking into territories where rumblings of dissatisfaction could be brewing. This security apparatus was not only geared towards defending against external threats, it was also intended to monitor the Tokugawa court itself, ensuring that internal conflicts or betrayals did not undermine the structure of the shogunate. The internal security reforms promoted by Hanzo fortified the foothold of the Tokugawa shogunate and entrenched peace by creating a constantly monitored milieu where possible threats were diffused before they became major problems. Japan enjoyed relative peace during the Edo period under this structure, and the security and espionage system implemented by Hanzo was one of the keys to maintaining the stability of the Tokugawa regime. His legacy was not simply that of a warrior or a strategist, but also that of a visionary who grasped the significance of surveillance and internal protection in securing the longevity of a regime. After spending decades of loyal and priceless service to the Tokugawa clan, Hattori Hanzo II reached the end of his journey. He spent his last years in relative peace. While still holding his authoritative position, Hanzo decreased his duties, devoting himself primarily to supervising and training the next generation of warriors and agents, imparting to them the values of loyalty, discipline, and the spirit of the shinobi that he embodied. Some historical accounts and traditions claim that Hattori Hanzo became a Buddhist monk towards the end of his life. After serving the Tokugawa clan for decades as a warrior and strategist, Hanzo is believed to have chosen a life of contemplation and spiritual retreat, following the Buddhist path. Hanzo died of natural causes, ending his life as a legendary and highly regarded figure. His passing signaled the end of the era for the Tokugawa clan, which had lost one of its most loyal and competent defenders. In a sign of honor and respect, Hattori Hanzo was buried in the Sainenji Temple in Tokyo. His spears were stored in the temple, weapons that had been his hallmark and symbolized his untamed spirit. To this day, these spears are kept as Sainenji, as a tribute to his life and legacy. Reverently guarded, they are a reminder of Hanzo's achievements, his courage, and the devotion with which he served the Tokugawa clan.